This video is to show you how to access the student directory page for the SLDS system. I'm going to log into the SLDS system. After you log into the system, the tab that you always go to access reports is on the top tab here where it says PK12. Once I click that, I'm going to get a list of reports. The number of reports that you have is based upon what level of access you have within the SLDS system. What we're going to look at today is the student directory report, which gives all individual student information within the system. Best way to set up any sort of report is on the right side of the page. There is a search bar for parameters. The best thing to do within the student directory is to just search by last name. I'm going to put in the full name here, as I don't want to show any other student data, and then you have to hit apply. Then in the left hand window pane, you'll get your list of students if you just search by last name. Then what you want to do is you click the student's name, and the report is generated there. Your parameter stays on the right side, but generally this is the area on the left side of which you're going to work. Contained within this report, there is a student information tab, which basically gives demographic information on that student out of PowerSchool, as well as information regarding programming for that student. Then you have an academic dashboard. That academic dashboard is a really nice page, and we'll go to that now, because contained within the academic dashboard you get an overview, an attendance tab, an assessment tab, grades and credits. If you're working with a secondary student, you might be dealing with credits, and also college and career readiness if you're working with a secondary student. One thing to be aware of is that the SLDS program has also created little videos for these different things that'll give you more detailed information if you want to take a look at those as well. One thing that's really nice with the SLDS system is that it will give you information on a student even if they have not attended Mandan Public Schools for their entire school career. If, say for instance, you have a more transient student that has been between Fargo, Bismarck, and then is with us in Mandan, all of that information will be contained within the SLDS system. Grades, attendance, and assessment information as well. You can see where that student has gone to and from within the state right here on the Historical Enrollments tab. If I go down, I can see this is what the attendance information is on this student right now, the last assessments that they took and how they did. If you hover over that information, it'll show you just what that score was for that student in that area, so that you don't have to do any more clicking, and then it'll also give you some sort of grade information. One of the things to be aware of is that the SLDS system right now is not storing standards-based report grades, but that is to be corrected soon. If I go back up, you will see that there are sub-tabs contained within here that you can also click. Within the attendance tab, I'll show you this, you can see again daily current attendance situations. If you are interested in historical data, whether it's assessment or attendance or grades, the More button is what you want to use, because that will give you a more historical picture of a student's attendance. So if I would click this student's attendance under More and then click the plus button under the document map, you can pick a year and see what this student's attendance was in all the years that they attended that particular school. If the student has been in Bismarck for 2 years, that information would show up for when they were in Bismarck as well. One of the important buttons within the SLDS system to be aware of is this button right here. There are a lot of buttons on the system, but this is one that I use a lot in order to navigate. This button will take you back to the parent report. You do not want to use the back button on your web browser because that'll messes up the whole system. You're better off using this go back to parent report. This button will take you back to the last page you viewed. This button will take you to the next page within the report. I always suggest using this one because that always takes you back to the parent report. We'll talk about the actions report in a little bit. But if I look here, say I hit this parent report, that takes me back to that dashboard, academic dashboard that we were talking about. If I click the assessments report, then what I'm going to get is the last assessment data on this student. And you can kind of see where that student was at. These buttons will give you trend information on whether that student is moving up, stagnating, or going down based on the information, and then give you target information. Once again, if you wish, you can click the More button and it will give you more detailed information in this particular situation on that student's NWA scores. What's kind of nice about this particular situation, it's all very visual in nature. You can go up and you can see 2013 data and where they're falling in the green areas and where they may fall a little lower. And if you go down and you can move the bar over, and that will give you more historical data on where that student has fallen within different assessments, this being the NWA assessment. Once again, if I want to go back to my parent report, I click that back button and that will take me back to this parent report. The last area that I want to show you, by the way, these two areas are nice for secondary students, but I will not take the time to show those right now. If I click the transcript button on the top, this will give me a digital transcript of that student's performance in different areas divided out by subject, which can be very nice in terms of grades. Of course, the standards-based reporting is not quite in here, but should be soon, hopefully. But what's really nice about this particular page is you can get the student's historical assessment data. Rather than being visual in nature, it just shows you the numbers and what their proficiency level is in language since 2011 and on math since 2009, and you can kind of see the progression of their scores. This, I feel, is a very nice report for staff members as well. One last thing that the program does very well is, as I had said earlier, you can go, I'm going to go back here first so that we go to our front information, and then go back to NOAA here at the beginning. If you can use the Actions button, say you have a quick meeting and you don't have time to peruse through this entire report, you can export this report into these different files. My recommendation is to use the PDF file. If you click that, this will automatically take that report and it will put it into a PDF format. And then if you had an RTI meeting or a meeting with that parent, you could have most of the information contained within that report in a PDF file. And as you can see, a lot of the things that we were talking about are contained within this report. Usually comes up as a 7 to 11 page report depending on the student. And that's a nice feature as well that I recommend. If you ever want to get back to the main reports site, you always can just click the PK12 button and that will take you directly to the reporting site. We can do that real quickly now. And then you'll be on the main reports site and you could go and look at different reports if you wish. I hope this information has been valuable to you. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at the Brave Center or you can email me as well. Thank you.